Hello, everybody. My name is Stephen Power. I'm an agency development manager in Google. I'm here today to talk to you about the latest trends, really, that we're seeing from Google, and go further into detail on the micro-moments that Danny would have touched on there, and how we can learn from these in order to have a smart strategy to make more money for your clients or yourselves. I'm going to press. This presentation normally takes me about 25 minutes, I've noticed, so I'm going to press the timer here and rock through it slightly quicker because I believe I have 20 minutes, so I'm using my phone already. And by the way, if you saw me hobbling onto the stage there, it's because I'm just back from a 550-kilometer cycle from Croatia to Venice, as in I flew in last night, so I'm not really in work mode yet, so this is a bit of a kind of baptism of fire back to the real world. So yeah, that's probably why you've noticed the tan. And also I noticed from, if you ask for short back and sides in Slovenia, that is what you're going to get. Anyway, we'll rock through it anyway. So yeah, I'm just going to start off by giving a bit of context, and then we'll go into the micro moments. So we're now living in an age of complexity. We always have, but it's even more complex these days. There's mad things going on in the world. People seem to be more interested in politics, looking all these things up online. All of this complexity in the world leads to curiosity about the world around us. So we're all, I'm not sure, like I certainly in the last couple of years seem to have been looking up more things about what's going on in the world. And how do we do that these days? We do it on our mobile phones. So when we're looking at, I mean, most of the time it's in bed when we're scrolling through things, we spot something on Facebook, we decide to look it up a bit more on Google. We expect these results on our mobile phones to be fast, clear, and easy to use. This guy here needs it to be fast and clear because he wants to know how to open a parachute as he's skydiving. But it all starts with a question. Before Google, before anything else, we were always curious. Human beings are always curious. Starts with a question. So these next 5 little pieces are taken from the New York Library. So before even Google was invented, you may think that people only searched when Google was created, or whatever search engine was created 18, 19 years ago. These are excerpts from questions that people asked in the New York Library many years ago. So this is a phone question. Is this the place where I ask questions I can't get answers to? Someone asked that in 1947. Why do 18th century English paintings have so many squirrels in them? And how did they tame them so that they wouldn't bite the painter? That was asked. Someone called into the library and asked that in 1976. We've always been a strange bunch, How much did Napoleon's brain weigh? Nice. I particularly like this one. Are Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates one and the same person? Who the hell asked that? Anyway, that was in 1950, so maniac. I hope they were sectioned afterwards. Anyway, Google was created then, obviously 18 years ago, and this is how it looked back then. I'm sure you all remember that computer being in your home. I remember rocking through about 25 seasons on Football Manager with PSV Eindhoven and winning the Champions League about 10 times on one of these things, with my parents trying to wrestle me away from the thing. But now computers look like this. So I think it's summed up best, really, by Irish, I had to put an Irish comedian in there, of course, I'm Irish. Dylan Moran. In one of his latest gigs, actually, this is the sort of stuff he was trialing in Newcastle before his tour. So maybe hit the video there, he makes a good point, sums it up.
Because you've got the technology instead to keep you from feeling alone. But of course it doesn't, does it? I mean, there's really only 2 states left for a human being now. There's about to be on a phone or on a phone. One of my absolute favourite things to do in the whole world is to not be on the phone. Sometimes afterwards, as a little reward, I go on the phone.
Does that resonate with you guys? Certainly does with me. Although I don't have the mental strength to not be on the phone, or consciously not be on the phone anyway. I'd say I have one of those, or I had an app called, I think it's Checky. It shows you how many times you check your phone per day. I had to remove it from my phone because it depressed me. I was averaging about 140, pathetic. But I'd say it's pretty normal. Yeah. There are trillions of searches each year. They're all quite complex. It's a world of intent. 16% of all searches are actually brand new. I don't have that on a slide, but that is kind of mental, isn't it? And as a result of this complexity, we always have to have the right message aimed at the right person, at the right place, at the right time. But we'll go into how we can do that now in a minute. I think it's all pretty obvious stuff, the micro-moment stuff, but from what we see from Google's perspective is we have to keep banging on that drum because people aren't doing it, so businesses aren't taking heed of the advice to make them more money from their mobile phone advertising, essentially. So I'm sure if you work in an agency here, it's like Google are saying the same thing again, but it's something that I know is a frustration for a lot of agencies that their clients won't get mobile sites. It's a frustration for us. I'm just banging the message home again, but this time wrapping it in the micro-moments sort of framework, because that's interesting, and it is what we've seen in 2016 and 17, the way people are changing their behaviors on a phone. But still, the messages really remain the same. Be visible, have a mobile site. So we'll dive into all that. You can hit the video there. Isn't that lovely? Aren't Google just the best company, huh? Yeah, a couple of American searches in there as well. I don't think any of you would be searching Mexico Beach vacation or searching for an SUV. There are lots of moments on a phone that don't really, you're not really going to interact with a brand for. So texting Jim, reading text from Jim, sending a work email, texting Karen, take a picture of the traffic, post picture of traffic. So these are all social activities and things that we all do on the phone, obviously. But there are plenty of moments where a brand should and could come into play, and these are called micro-moments. So 7:15 a.m., find a brunch place. Watch how to fix faucet video. So, I mean, we'll go into it in a bit, but there is a stat in a bit where there's 100 million plus hours of video watched this year so far that are how-to videos. I'm sure that that resonates with a lot of you guys. I mean, the latest one I did, I think, was how to poach an egg. Now I failed miserably, and I just bought an egg poacher, which was a lot easier. But yeah, that's once again, a random place where a brand comes into play. Research holiday destinations, do a bit of research about the best running shoes or best cycling shoes. By the way, if you're ever doing a cycle that long, I was the only person out of the group of 30 that didn't have cycling shoes, and I'm worse for wear as a result of it. Buy cycling shoes if you're going on a long cycle. So there's lots of micro moments there where brands could and should come into play. So these are the moments that truly matter. So these are the kind of 5 areas we've bucketed them into. So I want to watch what I'm into moments. So 53% of online video viewers watch online video to be inspired or entertained. An example of one of the guys who actually organized the cycling trip I was on said that, they do it every year in various different places around Europe. He looked at videos of the coastline of Croatia and Slovenia and Italy, and as a result of that, decided on that destination for us because it's amazingly beautiful. YouTube is the #1 platform for 18 to 34-year-olds when they're choosing to explore their passions, even things like learning how to play guitar and stuff like that. I want to know moments. So 65% of online consumers look up more information online now than a few years ago. 66% of smartphone users turn to their phones to look up something they saw in a TV commercial, or ad, as we say over here. See a TV ad, look up more about the brand. Brands are coming into play here. I want to go moments. So there's a 2-fold increase in near me searches in the past year. That's a big trend actually. And you guys in the UK here are voice searching more than anyone else in the world right now, or the volume of voice searches are increasing, and a lot of those are near me searches and kind of immediate searches. So I want to find a coffee shop near me, a restaurant near me. So the UK is kind of leading the charge in that one. So that's one to bear in mind. And that's also one that's shooting up our overall, the way I said 16% of all searches are new. Voice searches are different. They're a bit more long tail. So that's pushing that number up as well. 82% of smartphone users use a search engine when looking for a local business. So be there. I want to do moments. 91% of smartphone users turn to their phones for ideas while doing a task. As I was saying, 100 million plus of hours of how-to content has been watched on YouTube so far this year, and this deck was done 2 months ago. I want to buy moments. So 82% of smartphone users consult their phones while in a store deciding what to buy. Mad stat. 29% increase in mobile conversion rates in the past year. Good news for everyone in Google and everyone in search advertising, because mobile was traditionally, I've been working with agencies for 4 years. We went from a phase in 2012 or 13, sorry, when I was just going into meetings going, guys, why are we minus 100% on mobile across your whole agency? Oh, because the conversion rate isn't anywhere near as good as desktop. Realistically, that's, it's not the big picture. Nowadays, in fairness, we're getting much better. Most agencies and clients understand the importance and the wider why you would advertise on mobile. The kind of annoyance for Google is that the conversion rates tended not to be as high, but they're pulling them in kind of in the middle of the funnel, and then people are converting, we'll say, on their desktop. But that seems to be changing now. People are becoming more and more comfortable purchasing on their smartphones. Smartphones are getting better. People's websites are getting better. The way people are advertising on smartphones is getting better. So that's all culminating and resulting in this figure. So that's good news overall, and I can only see it going in that direction, in the positive direction. So 3 things: be personable, actionable, and measurable. So yeah, measurement is becoming more, you all understand the importance of it. Use everything at your disposal to show the value of what you're doing online in terms of advertising. We'll dive into those. So we've got lots of ways that we can be successful on smartphones. So if someone shows intent, we can understand the context now because of technology, the context that they're in, i.e. where they are, what time it is, are they close to your business, what device they're on. You, as a business, or if you're an agency, your clients may have their own data, so their own database. So are they really good customers of yours? Are they returning visitors? Are they people who've purchased off you before? So you got lots of signals from your own data as well. And you can also use Google's data to target these people. So demographics, have they been on the site before? All the stuff in analytics. So we can use all these things. So there's no real excuse for being there in front of the right person at the right time with the right message. Simple enough, ad extensions make ads fast and actionable. If you don't have ad extensions, you should. They lead to 10 to 20% improved click-through rate. Call extensions, obviously very handy. Say you're a pizzeria or something, just bang, I've ordered the pizza. Site links promote various different parts of your site. If you're a retailer, you've got women's shoes, men's shoes, whatever the case may be, it could direct people to various different parts of your site. We're also moving forward. You can look at these things. I won't dive into the details because we're at nearly 16 minutes now. But we're bringing in new features. These are all on the Help Center, and this deck will be sent out afterwards anyway for reference. But vertical search, ads in maps, the shopping carousel are kind of the latest things Google are doing in terms of pushing things forward on a mobile. I'm sure you've come across these on your search ventures. But succeeding in a micro-moment world, 3 simple things, followed with a 4th bit of advice: be there, be useful, and be quick. So we've got, look, I'm going to give myself an extra 10%, so we'll go 22 minutes. These 3 things, all together, will help you succeed. So this is probably the juicy stuff, I suppose. Being there, so showing up gets your brand in the game to be chosen, not just seen. So we're finding out that consumers are not brand committed. So 51% of smartphone users have discovered a new company or product when conducting a search on their smartphone. Don't assume that your brand doesn't have a chance in a smartphone search. We're impatient people. We're just going to choose, we're smart people as well. We're probably, if we're looking for value for money, we're going to choose the cheapest, no matter what brand it is. We're impatient on a smartphone as well. So you get a shot at your competitors' customers. That's basically the point. 1 in 3 smartphone users have purchased from a company or brand other than the one they were seeking because of the information provided in the moment they needed it. So you can look at that twofold. You might lose out on a customer because you weren't good enough when they needed you in terms of the info in front of them. Being there drives brand awareness as well. So you may not get direct conversions and direct money from people in the top of the funnel, just kind of fritting around and figuring out what they need. But they could eventually convert with yourselves if you even just show up in front of them on a smartphone. Because when you think about it, the 2 ads will take up half the screen on a mobile phone. And with ad extensions, you're becoming more and more visible. So it's a lot of you're front and center, really, in front of the person, more so than a desktop. So it's very important. Be useful. So without utility in the moment, not only will consumers move on, they actually might not ever come back. Do you get annoyed when you go onto a website and it doesn't load quick enough? I get so annoyed sometimes with some brands that I will not purchase off them again. So 73% of consumers say that regularly getting useful information from an advertiser is the most important attribute when selecting a brand. 51% of smartphone users have bought from a brand other than their intended one because the information provided was useful. 61% of smartphone users said they're more likely to buy from companies who customize mobile information to their location. So all of these things, it's not on the deck or anything, but it's kind of like, how good is your mobile site? Short, snappy information that's to the point. And a quick site to load. I forget the stats at the moment, but it's frightening how much money I think Amazon loses per second of load time for their mobile site. So they work very hard on making it as fast as possible. Yeah, so people are very, very impatient on a smartphone. They want the information right in front of them all the time. So I want to watch what I'm into. Moments. 42% of consumers choose brands that engage them on their passions more often than they do with brands that simply urge them to buy the product. Kind of pushing the importance of the wider marketing play. You know, SearchLeeds, most of you guys are probably interested in the I want to buy moments, but I'd love to get a trend in UK agencies and clients where, you know, we're trying out more things like video and trying to engage. I mean, Google does have options to engage people rather than just when they're looking for their football boots or looking for whatever. So YouTube advertising is a way to do that. And also just creating good content on YouTube. I want to know moments. So 69% of smartphone users are more likely to buy from companies whose mobile sites or apps help them easily find answers to their questions. We've got 25 principles of mobile site design actually that's readily available. If you literally just Google it, right, and you could download it. If you're looking to upgrade your mobile site, it's very, very good kind of rules of thumb. And even if you've got like web developers, you know, that you're paying a lot of money for, you can hold them to task on these 25 principles. This one is like the search bar on top. And even like when you type in a couple of letters, filling out the answer kind of thing. Those sort of principles are kind of, you can refer to them. I'd advise you to look it up when improving your site. I want to go moments. So 71% of smartphone users say that they've used the store locator to find a shop location. I'm sure we can all resonate with that. I want to do moments. So 48% of smartphone users are more likely to buy from companies whose mobile sites or apps provide instructional video content. So that's relevant if you're an instructional, that sort of ilk of business. And I want to buy moments. So obviously, I mean, this is probably the most important moneymaker for everyone. Extensions, data, fast mobile site, relevant content. There's the kind of 3 points I guess I'd like you to come away with. Make your ads big, use the data, and like show up in front of the right people. So I mean, use demographics. I mean, you could target by demographics on Google and gender. And you can use all of like our customer match. So you can input your database and either remove or add people to campaigns, and you could target people who've been on the site before with remarketing. So data, make your ads big, make your website fast and useful. 58% of smartphone users are more likely to buy from companies, so that allow them to make purchases quickly. That's the bottom line. I mean, it's quick and easy is what we want. Simple as. And finally, be quick. Just over 22 now. Not very good. Not quick. So 40% of customers will abandon a site that takes over 3 seconds to load. 29% of smartphone users will immediately switch to another site or app if it's too clumsy or slow. 1 in 5 dissatisfied visitors will never return to a website where problems have occurred. Speed thrills, friction kills. So, thank you.